You talk about the sexual revolution, if you want to call it that. It's no good. I mean, it's too loose, and too many things can happen. A lot of children are born out of wedlock, and the guy takes off and goes Christ knows where, and the girl's left with the problem with the kid. Now, next thing you know, she can't make it in this world for some reason. She's not equipped with any kind of technical skills or anything to make a living, real good living. Anyway, so what happens? She falls into the what do you call it? The framework of dependency on the government and everything. And so what happens? We're paying for it in the tax structure, see?
So we struggle in our own humble way to destroy the United States.
They really hadn't dropped out of society. They'd become parasitic in society.
I think it was just do what you want to do whenever you want to do it. You can't have a society like that. I mean, who's going to work? Who's going to grow the food? Who's going to make the autos? It was totally unrealistic.
I think that the sense that pervaded everything was the sense, I can afford to give up the traditional values. This is a new age. I can be a flower child and do drugs and eat, and everything will be okay. And forget about taking care of your body, or working, or getting up in the morning, or going to bed at night, or discharging any responsibilities. Forget about that, because we have built a society of plenty and of comfort and of ease. And there will always be, and our parents are always going to be showering gifts upon us, so what the hell? Let's have a good time.
The idea of freedom, then, was total freedom. There was no sense that freedom is the responsible use of form or the mastery of form at all. Freedom was break out of all constraints, which of course is an illusion, an impossibility. But at that time, people were really trying to do that, and they would light any match to their tails to take off. And a lot of the excess was this desperate attempt to finally get beyond all limitations.
A lot of people got together and made love and had babies, and then said, well, let's go off and do it with another person. And there's that woman with her babies, and she's got babies from this guy and babies from that guy, and the kids are the ones that suffered.
Has a speed freak ever come to live with you?
Yes.
How did he behave? How did you know he was a speed freak?
God, how skinny he was.
Do you turn on?
I smoke grass.
Do you? What's it like?
If you have any grass, I'll show you. I'll eat it.
Do you eat it?
I eat it and smoke it.
Which do you prefer?
Eating it.
What do you think happens when the police find out that people smoke grass?
They get back.
Do you see any ways that any effects of the 60s on us today, the kind of country we are today? What kind of legacy do you see it's left?
I'll be honest with you, I don't see any legacy that they did leave. I mean, the 60s, they had their controversy, but I think basically all it centered around was the Vietnamese War. I honestly believe that. That was the whole crux of the thing at that time. And they made up all their folk music and all the other things that they did. It all centered around that Vietnamese War. They didn't want to go in the Army or the Navy, whatever it might have been. But these guys, the men, didn't want to go into service, which, like I say, I can't blame them in a way, because it was a lousy war. We shouldn't have been in it. But I think that's what the crux of the 60s was about. As far as leaving us anything today, I don't think they left us a thing but memories. That we remember all these things. And, I mean, what was it? I mean, it's just a good party. It was like a big party for a lot of them. And that doesn't leave any legacy. I mean, that's not a legacy to me. A legacy is when Franklin Roosevelt devised the Social Security Act. That's a legacy. He handed something down to the next generations. And you have something concrete that, you can hold on to. But I don't see where the 60s were a big thing for legacies, to hand down to this generation or this time and day.